Hello there, I'm Colleen.
I'm Anders.
And I'm Daniel.
We're three nerds that met through our love of science fiction and fantasy storytelling. Of course, one of our favorites is George Lucas's signature achievement, Star Wars.
And if there's one thing the internet definitely doesn't have enough of, it's nerds talking about Star Wars. So here we are with yet another Star Wars podcast, where each week we discuss one of the films in the current Star Wars canon.
From the sands of Tatooine to the levels of Coruscant, we cover it all. Yet another Star Wars podcast is available wherever you get your podcast and is part of the Forgotten Entertainment family.
Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, is the entertainment director at Fun Island. It's Mr. Shane Beauregard. How are you, sir?
I am doing well, and if that's the case, I am fired.
Hey, man, at least have a decent lifeguard on staff. That's all I'm asking. You know, people just reckless, dogs going everywhere. It's stupid. You're stupid if you have that job. But good to see you, sir. Glad to see your smiling face as always. Of course, you're smiling a little bit more probably because you finally got to see MEG 2, The Trench, which is what we are having giggles about already up top. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, which we both saw. I am super pumped to talk about Hijack, whether Shane likes it or not, so I will talk about that at some point. But let's start with the box office, buddy, because it kind of leads into the two movies that I talked about up front. First of all, have your nice little victory lap for your man, Jason Statham, because over the weekend, Barbie, of course, did its thing, but somebody finally beat Oppenheimer. And lordy lord, if you told me it was going to be MEG 2, The Trench. Now, again, domestically, I'm hedging a little bit, even though this movie did well internationally as well. If you told me what movie was going to upend one of Barbenheimer, I don't know if I was going to say that, especially because when I saw this movie, it wasn't that well attended. And I went on Thursday preview night. What was your experience? When did you see it and how did that go?
It's funny. I went Thursday at like 5:10, right? So
Right.
I got in there. I pre-ordered my ticket, got in there, sat down. And I think I messaged you. It was like 5:05, 5:08 in there. I was the only one in the theater.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is going to be great. I got the whole theater to myself. But as the minutes went by 5:15, it was probably 45-50% full at that time.
Okay.
So the crowds did actually come in.
Right.
And the wave behind me when I got out of the theater, the crowd started growing a little bit. So maybe a little too early for 5:00. But
Right.
yeah, I was getting a little nervous, man. I was like, oh my God, this thing is gonna bomb. Because of course, you messaging me about the Rotten Tomatoes score, which was 0 at the time. It's like 28% right now. And I was like, damn you, Rotten Tomatoes. I don't care. I'm going to go see my man. And lo and behold, I'm going to do I'm taking my victory lap, sir. I might take my shirt off while I do it for my man, Jason Statham.
Yeah.
I honestly was shocked. I was like, okay, it'll maybe finish fourth behind Oppenheimer and TMNT. And when I saw it this morning, I was like, holy sugar. It was number 2.
Yeah. Yeah, made about $30 million over the weekend. Yes, Oppenheimer still made 29. So yes, it wasn't this big slam dunk. However, the one thing we knew about this movie, just like the first movie, international is where this is going to go. Especially any kind of big monster movie, any kind of big spectacle like this is expected to do well internationally, and it did 115 mil overseas to make 145 for its opening weekend thus far. So this is why this got a sequel, guys. There's something about it that people like. I don't know if I will echo any positive sentiments. I might be more on the critic side. We'll get there in a second. But yeah, the box office was again doing really well. I don't know again how many. There's a lot of people I hear, especially on other podcasts and everything else, saying, oh, I went to go see X, meaning Barbie or Oppenheimer. And then they just were like, well, we're here. And it's like raising the ticket sales for all these other movies. So, you know, MEG 2 did really well. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles also did 28 over the weekend, but total domestically did 43 million. Because I saw this on Wednesday when my kids also saw it during the day on Wednesday with their camp. So it was like a weird thing of like we saw it, but in separate times and places. It was a bizarre thing considering the type of movie it is. But that was a movie that the movie theater was pretty full for a Wednesday. And I was like, oh man, this movie's going to crush. I was thinking, is this the new, Mario Brothers kind of thing?
Right.
Is this going to hold? If it gets word of mouth, it might do all right, but it's not going to touch Mario Brothers. I think people, and we'll get to it maybe with the review, but like I think a lot of people are, a little like there's been so many permutations of Ninja Turtles that I think people need to hear that it's good to then get word of mouth to then go for that to work out. So again, a positive start for them. 51 million total, 43 domestic for Ninja Turtles in its first kind of mostly long weekend, however you want to put it. So that's a good start for them. And like I said, the box office in general just keeps on doing well. But let's get into kind of the critical part of Meg 2 as if anyone cares, right, Shane? Anyone who loves these movies doesn't give a shit if you like these movies too, and you're gonna laugh at me when I'm like nitpicking a movie that is like just, are you kidding me, stupid on its face. But what did you think? Because you're the Meg guy. So, like, coming in, what did you like about the first one, and what were your expectations, and how did that work for you with part 2?
Okay, so the first one I did like. It wasn't, obviously, we know what we're dealing with, but I grew up with like a creature feature kind of thing. I've always been in the shark movies and all kinds of those permutations. And I'll admit, I love Jason Statham. I could watch that guy just about anything. So the first one caught me by surprise. I had my issues with the first one because it tiptoed on what it could be. Is it like a horror movie? Is it this or that? But they kind of like tiptoed and they didn't exactly declare what they were. But overall, I had a good time. I was entertained. So when this came out, I'm like, okay, yes, more of what I want. And yeah. So when it comes to these movies, like you said, damn critics, damn it, the 28% of Rotten Tomato, this is my kind of movie. Like they could screw it up, but it's like, I don't care. Put my brain aside. And as long as I'm having fun and entertained, yes, it's stupid, it's campy, it's over the top, it's ridiculous, and that's exactly what I got. But I will say, so my expectations were kind of high on this one based off the first one.
Silly man.
I know, I'm a silly man. But to be honest with you, I thought this was like the first half of this movie. I was like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, and this is my problem with most, like the Godzilla verse, King Kong. I know you can't have monsters fighting for 2 hours straight. I understand that.
Sure.
But the human stories are always the weakest parts of these movies. And for the first hour and 10 minutes, I was like, come on. Like I thought they try to throw too much plot in there, if that makes sense. Like, I don't care about corporate backstabbing and revenge and who's taking whose technology and all this kind of stuff. Like, give me the sharks.
Right.
So the first half to me was like, all right, I kept looking at my watch. I'm like, can we pick this up a little bit? And then once they get into Fun Island, I'm like, this is what I want. This is the kind of crazy, stupid movie I want. Octopus, sharks, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat, except maybe I don't speak with it with the same glow. Where like when it was first going, I was like, I am bored. This is useless. And even worse, I'm watching Jason Statham and he looks bored. Like, I don't know where he gets his rocks off with this movie or whether he even cared. Would you characterize him as, like, in the first movie, having more fun with it? Did the first movie have more fun than this movie?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So that's a weird twist. Usually part 2 is when it's like, all right, all bets are off. Let's just take the chain off. Let's just go crazy, have a lot of fun, do all that. And I felt like you said, the early part of this movie, it was just like, they're just so serious. And, you know, they tried a little bit of the bonding stuff between the little kid, the uncle, right, that's taken over for her,
the uncle.
and Statham's character. And you're just like, okay, this is fine, but it's not going anywhere. And the only reason why they're even down in the trench, I mean, for plot purposes later, I guess, is just to set up the villain that never really worked out for me. It didn't do anything. And then to also unleash holy hell with other stuff that can somehow get through. What was that barrier called that they kind of went through that they thought the MEG couldn't go through? Do you remember?
It was like thermo freeze.
Yeah, the thermal layer or something like that.
Yeah, thermal layer.
Yeah, so none of that like worked because none of it stopped it, and none of it like did what they thought. Like all the science ended up being bunk, and I don't know. By the time we got to Fun Island, I was just like a little checked out. And the weird part for me, and again, none of this is spoiler territory because this is the fucking Meg. You know what you're there for. But to me, those little like land dragons or whatever that were on Fun Island, I thought those were way more intense and way more like almost Jurassic Park vibes of fighting those things. Was way crazier than anything I felt about the Meg or any of the other sea creatures. Would you go on with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They were more terrifying. And again, that was my issue with most of this movie. Like, I came here to see Meg, sharks.
Sure.
And I felt like once Jason Statham grabs the little skidoo out there, we didn't get a whole lot of that. You know what I mean? It's like, let's go. So the actual running around trying to stay away from those lizards, I guess we'll call them for lack of a better term.
Yeah, they're like Komodo dragons, sort of, but they're not as... But they move way faster. They're some kind of and they're a little bit smaller. I don't know. I don't know what to make of those.
Right. So to me, that was fun. They just missed their opportunity. I think sometimes they don't like with the first one. Like, are you going for a horror movie? Can you be a little? I don't want to say ultra violent because you want like a certain crowd there, but like I would like to see a little more blood. Stuff like that. A little more sharks doing some damage.
Yeah. What do you think of the actual CGI, though? Because it is very heavy CGI, and it's not in like a smart way, like a Pacific Rim, where those are like kaiju kind of inserts, as opposed to these type of movies and your Godzillas and things like that. It's weird. I know you get a sequel, right? But it feels low budget, even from the beginning. That little like ancient Meg thing on the coast there that they did with the dinosaurs in the beginning that you see in the trailer or whatever, that even looked very, very fake to me, and it didn't get that much better.
Oh, it didn't. The CGI wasn't great, but I will say it didn't take me out of the movie, if that makes sense. Like, it wasn't so bad where I was like, all right, this is taking me out of the movie. It was okay. For what it was okay. I was expecting a little more, especially with the sharks and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it was okay. And to get to your point, like the villain part, like I just kept thinking, he reminded me of like a discount Javier Bardem. Like I was like, can we...
Well, not even that. Him and the billionaire woman, who's kind of the funding of the whole thing. I don't know. I guess she's just a money grubber. There's so little character development in any of these people, let alone the villains, that there's one thing where you just go, well, I'm here for this, so the other things don't matter. They have to do something.
Right. And they do nothing, right? And I thought a lot of the one-liners were cringy. Like the humor did not land at all.
No.
At all. I will say I did like DJ, the black guy in this film.
Oh yeah, he's the only one having fun. He's in his own movie. He's in the movie that I wish the movie was.
He was like one of the highlights, especially when they get to Fun Island. He was one of the highlights of the whole movie for me, man.
Yeah.
Like, and of course I did like some of the shots they did, and I wish I would have written them down. But there were some kind of cool camera angle shots that they did in this movie, but it was too few and far between.
Right.
But I did like. I mean, okay. I don't know. We're going to talk about Statham versus the Sharks here in a second.
Sure, please. That's what we're here for, right?
Yeah, okay. So I laughed so hard, but I loved it at the same time.
The harpooning?
The last kill, the helicopter blade.
Yes. I was laughing because I saw it coming and I was like, okay, here we are. Yes.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell he could pick that up. Let's just start there.
No, first of all, the Meg would have squished him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
he
the
would have been
sheer
dead.
weight. Absolutely
Yeah.
no. Absolutely
But
no.
still, it was kind of awesome to see.
But exactly. And again, that's my point is like, this movie's almost 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And you can't just start having kind of some fun like that and amp
20
it up.
minutes to go.
20 minutes to go. So
Yeah.
that's where they need to look in the mirror if they're going to do any more of these. Be like, come on.
Yeah.
You had your audience there clearly because the box office tells you. Then just do it up, man. Don't waste your time trying to do like environmental issues or some other kind of things that get you there. We know why we're here.
Yeah.
And Jason Statham knows why he's here. This is why he keeps doing them. It's not for, any lack of other stuff he's got going on. It's called cha-ching, and he gets to be the face of the franchise of something. Yeah, he knows what's up. This is the guy who did multiple Crank movies, all right?
Yes.
He knows what's up. Let him cook.
Yeah, he knows his pocket and where he excels, and this is Statham to a T, and I love it. And I hate to say it, but if it performs a little better, we might get a trilogy.
There might be. Although, obviously, I don't think they set anything up. But again, do they need to? Absolutely not.
No, but we had that stupid baby Meg that the uncle kept saying he could communicate with swim away. Remember that?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's would be interesting is let's stop making it about the MEG and attacking. Now I want the MEG to work for the armed services, and that we get the MEG to like go and work with the Navy and start attacking because we now have control over a megalodon. You know what I mean?
Right.
Listen up, Hollywood. I got this
there
on.
we go.
I got this on lock, buddy. Let's do it. But to your point, you are the MEG fan and not me. So obviously these movies need to serve you more than they need to serve me. And to the tune of, like you said, a 28% tomato meter, but it's a 72% audience score. So to me, it did enough of its job to the people who came there for it. So I think, again, it's probably on the line. We'll see where the box office returns go from here, but, it's got to make a little bit more because I think this movie cost triple digits. So between that, the marketing, and anything else, I think this movie needs to make, a little bit more as the summer goes on. But if this is the best it could do, international needs to keep chugging along. But domestically, if it doesn't get to like 100 at least domestically, that's probably not going to cut it to get more. So we'll see. It's kind of leaning into fast territory in the sense of like of everything, obviously the incredulous stuff, but of course in terms of box office where the Fast series relies so much on the international box office to get them to keep making these, especially for such a high price. So we'll see. I mean, also, Shane, I don't know where your allegiances lie in terms of monster movies or any of these shark stuff or what have you, but I did also notice they are doing a Sharknado anniversary release in theaters. Is that something you're into, or is that too low?
Okay, full disclosure. I did enjoy the first Sharknado. It was so bad. It was so bad. It was so good.
Right.
And then the problem I had with it is they knew it was so bad and people watched it because it was so bad. They just kept like trying to up the ante on trying to be awful for the sake of being awful, and they stopped being fun at that point. So I kind of checked out after the second one,
right,
and never returned because even for me, and that's saying a lot. Yeah, it was just too dumb. Like I'm like, all right, come on, man. So yeah. First one though, 10-year anniversary. Yeah, I'm down for that.
See, again, I don't because it was a sci-fi event, right? So you got little screen CGI. I'd be interested to see how that works as like a full movie print size, especially exposing that low grade CGI. So I don't know. It might be fun because that's Tara Reid, right? Was the lead of that one? Yeah. So it might be good just to see a little flashback of her too.
Yeah, it made Ian Zerling a star again for a little bit.
Right. Yeah. He was 90210, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, if you want a throwback in all semblances of the word, check that out. That's coming up too. I know I saw the preview thing for that as well. So, All right. Well, at least you got satisfied on that end. Let's move on to.
Wait, hold on. real
we
quick.
grading.
Whoa.
We grading.
Yeah, we got a grade.
You
know
really
we got
want
a
my
grade.
grade? You want my grade?
Yeah.
All right. Well, actually, I want to hear yours first because Lord knows, mine's not going to come anywhere near yours. But
Okay.
I'm trying to see how high, literally and figuratively, you are on this movie.
Okay. Well, this may surprise you, but because of the unevenness of this movie, and it bored me to tears for the first hour, I could not get this anything higher than a 2.5.
Okay. All right. So we're not too far off. You're relishing in the ending versus killing it completely.
Right.
I'm not too far off. Like we've kind of been saying a lot of the same things. I'm probably giving it more of a 2 because
Okay, I see it.
Yeah, because it just didn't get there. And like I said, if it's DJ's movie, if it's everybody having fun and killing things and like you said, more blood, I think they do that on purpose, the whole PG-13 aspect of it, because I think they want that teenage crowd to be there, so they're not going to make it a hard R. I don't know what line they can get to with a PG-13 movie to still do it, but I don't know.
Right.
I would like to see them amp it up, but
just a little bit.
Yeah, but good to hear 2.5. I was waiting for you to say 3.5, and I was going to roll my eyes. So 2.5 is pretty solid. I would have also, accepted 3 as just you're in. Yeah. But yeah, thank you for being more on the even keel on that, more respectable. I appreciate that. But yeah, we'll see if they make more of these coming to a theater near you. Let's get to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like I said, this is a movie that made a decent chunk of change. I thought it was going to do a lot more, but we'll see. It is getting spectacular reviews. I know it had a high 90s Rotten Tomato critical score, which is amazing. 7.6 on IMDb, 74 Metascore for a kid's cartoon movie is pretty high. This is obviously the brainchild of Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, their production company. So it's sad because I've heard them on podcasts, Evan Goldberg specifically, talking about getting things greenlit and what you have to do. And it's sad when it's like, I want them to make more Superbads of the world, and instead they have to make Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to keep the lights on. So, but at least with this movie, you can kind of see their influence and see what kind of perspective that they wanted from this movie. Because the one thing that I hear universally from people is the whole aspect of these Ninja Turtles are teenagers, and they are going to have certain teenager, wants and needs and thoughts on the world, and also turning April O'Neil into a teenage high schooler, who is a quote journalist working for the high school newspaper, and kind of being more on their level versus being the April O'Neil we really know, is something that a lot of people seem to kind of like the fit of. But where did you sit with this? What's your relationship to the Turtles? Did you watch it when you were younger as well?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was way into the Turtles. One of my best movie going experiences seeing the live action one back in the
Michael
late
Bay
90s.
One? You're talking before that. Yeah.
Yeah, the OG one.
Yeah.
And
Same.
honestly, if you go back and watch it, it still holds up for the most part, man. Like it was well
rubber
done,
suits and Corey Feldman. I'll take it all day.
Yeah, it was great. So, man, I've been a Turtle fan ever since then. I've watched every iteration of the show, like the Nickelodeon cartoons, the various one-off animation movies they would have. So I'm all in. So I was excited about this because I think you mentioned it at the top. Like, part of the problem could be we've had so many Ninja Turtle movies and just different shows stuffed down our throat. We're like, okay, another one? Come on, man. Like, really?
Yeah.
But so I was excited about this movie, and it didn't disappoint. I thought it was fresh. It was stylistic. I loved all the voice work. It was great, and I liked the April O'Neil. I did like that version of her in this movie. And one of the first things I thought, like you said, was, hey, they're actually acting like teenagers, man. They have teenager wants and needs and tendencies. They're immature. So I loved it, man. I loved it.
It actually mimicked more. My kids have started to watch one of the one of the iterations, one of the Nickelodeon versions from, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, maybe a little less. And it kind of feels closer to that. Although, here's the thing. For old heads like us, people have been from the beginning. Heck, I even know people who read the comic books, which, again, was a sea change, right? From the comic books are way more violent and way more extreme than what the Ninja Turtles cartoon was to start. So we've always had this weird relationship with the Turtles constantly evolving, right? But because the original cartoon and the movie was similar enough that we just kind of took that as like, that is canon, So I think that's maybe part of the reason why some people our age who would take our kids would have a little bit of hesitancy coming into this movie because, depending on what you see in the trailer, there are changes. There are changes to that core theories and beliefs and character structure that we know from the beginning. So even when I talked to my brother about it, who's a little bit older than me, and we watched this stuff, he was kind of like, when I told him about some of the changes, because some of the changes don't actually make sense. Like, for instance, and again, this is not a huge spoiler or anything, but, Splinter. Yeah. Why is he voiced by Jackie Chan? Why is he Asian when they changed the origin story from a man changing into a rat man, essentially, versus a rat in this movie changing into a rat man? So it kind of makes no sense of why, like, they had to really stretch it to make it why they're into karate, self-defense, any of those kind of martial arts stuff, and that they all learned it together, versus like this sensei and student relationship as well as kind of like a father-son thing with the Turtles. Did you find that off at all?
Here's what it was different, and I was like, wow, that's a different origin story for him. But I think they shifted it that way because this is the first movie that didn't have Shredder and the Foot Clan in it.
Right, so which we can get to where that's going.
And I felt because of what they're going for in the movie, the themes of the movie and the villains of the movie, I think that's why they changed the origin story for Splinter. And I didn't mind it, though I didn't think about why is Jackie Chan voicing him if you're going to change his origin story like that. Yeah. I didn't think about that till just now. But I get why they didn't, and it didn't really bother me.
Yeah, I mean, much like you can kind of be like, well, these are turtles. Why do they have, generic white guy accents, or whatever? It's like, okay, well, they got to be voiced with something. So it is odd to people that like, oh, they stayed consistent that he is an Asian voiced rat, but it is odd that we didn't get it the way it works. Especially because I think that actually does work. And eventually they are going to get to Shredder. And I think what the thought process is with this one is that I think they did, what am I thinking? There are movies lately where they're like, we know eventually we have to get to this guy.
Yeah,
like,
character.
If you think about it, even like, say, the Nolan Batman movies, right? They started with Batman Begins. He's not fighting the Joker from the start. Right. And it's not even, a full on like, oh, well, Joker's been there all along kind of thing. No. You're fighting other characters and the mob and other other pressing things before you get to the Joker in the second one. This one is a similar vibe. They're getting into something where it's like, okay, we're going to fight these guys. And then if this movie does well, then we're going to get to the next subsequent ones where Shredder might be more involved or something like that.
Right.
So you know where this is going. So eventually it is going to be odd, because if he's just some rat and not something tied to Shredder, then it loses a little bit of impact.
Yeah, a little bit, but I think they're in good hands as long as Rogan and Evan is in charge of it still, because I trust their writing process. I trust the way they handle these characters. So, and that's what I have to go on. That's all I have to go on. But again, it was refreshing seeing them fight other things. Because you brought up Batman and the Joker. like, oh, how many times are you going to shoehorn Joker into a Batman movie? Like,
Sure.
can we throw other villains out there?
Right.
So that was nice for me to see that. Now, let me ask you something real quick, because it took me a couple minutes to get used to it. Did the animation style in which they used, did it take you a little while to get adjusted to it? Because it took me like 5 minutes to kind of get my head wrapped around how they animated this movie, and some of the fight scenes it was like rapid pacing, and it kind of took me out of it because it was hard for me to kind of follow some of the things.
I agree with that. In terms of the action stuff, I think I saw the trailer so many times that it kind of like got me prepared well enough to like actually watch this movie in full. But you're right. Some of the animated sequences, I think that's where it loses it a little bit. But I admire it. It's because we're so spoiled, right, between Spider-Verse, where it's like it's unique and it works for the action sequences and the regular, slowed down sequences. This one, I think it works better in slower sequences than it does in the action. And the one thing that I admire about it is that, especially if you're doing that aim with the Teenage Turtles, Teenage April, Teenage all these things, it looks like a very stylized version of a kid who kind of draw these characters on a notebook. Like it's like a high-end version of that. So I admire the way they did that. Like you said, sometimes it does kind of take you out a little bit, or it's too much, especially because they dumped out the toy box in this movie, where like every single character that you could possibly think of, even with ones who had changed origin stories, because I've seen the Baxter Stockman thing done multiple ways. So, and this one was again uniquely changed from that as well. And again, closer to the one I think in the last cartoon that I saw that my kids were watching. So, whatever with all that. So that's fine. But I don't know. I got really excited when like Mondo Gecko was there and like Leatherhead and some of these other like lower villains that I liked from the cartoon show that never got their due on some of these movies. So I was happy to see that. Got kind of geeked out. Did you also enjoy some of the Easter eggy stuff with that too?
Yeah.
Where like you got the ninja rap thing in there. You had did you notice the high school? What the high school name was?
It was
Eastman High.
The guy who created the Turtles, right?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think Eastman. Yeah, it was that, or that was the name of the comic book company that made it was one of the two. It was either the creator name or both. But I recognized it from the comics, at least as a part of the show. But yeah, the soundtrack was amazing in this. My son and I had a No Diggity sing along in the car because he now knows the song. So I'm all about that. That is awesome. Did you also notice that the actual score was done by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross?
Are you serious? I did not pay attention to that.
It's amazing that their career is so funny. Like they have all the Fincher movies and all these like serious things, winning Oscars and all this stuff. Then sometimes they pull out some ones where I'm like, really? Why did you do this one? And this is one of those. But hey, man, at least it's a good movie.
Yeah, it worked. I love the soundtrack. The soundtrack was just phenomenal for me, especially when they ended it with Tribe Called Quest. Can I kick it?
Yeah.
I was kick. Oh, man, it was great. And I thought Ice Cube's voice was perfect for Superfly, man. He was so good voicing that character.
Yeah, I wish there weren't so many lines where it's like almost like literally lyrics from songs of his or whatever it was, where he was kind of speaking in like silly, like almost comic booky villain stuff, like these weird one-liners all the time. Yeah. But it worked most of the time for me, for sure.
Yeah, I dug it. But it was funny because you brought up Mondo, the character Mondo.
Yeah, Mondo Gecko,
it's like,
Andy Samberg.
It's like, no. See, that's when to bring up. If you're gonna hire Paul Rudd, have Paul Rudd do it. Don't have Paul Rudd do his best. Don't have Paul Rudd do his best Andy Samberg impression, because I could have swore the whole time I'm like, that's Andy Samberg. Go look it up. That's Paul Rudd.
I know. Now that you say it, I actually am like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So Maya Rudolph, I think, is the villain woman who the whole milking thing that we could get to that in a second. John Cena, I had no idea was Rocksteady.
Really?
Yeah, had no idea. Rose Byrne was Leatherhead. That's a wild flex.
Yep.
That's ridiculous. Giancarlo Esposito, Baxter Stockman, that was kind of more obvious because he gets a lot of speaking roles in the beginning. We mentioned Jackie Chan and Ice Cube. Yep, Paul Rudd as Mondo Gecko. Post Malone was Ray Fillet. Hannibal Buress as Genghis Frog. Yeah, I don't see any other real like standout ones, but that's still pretty deep.
It's pretty deep, and it was great. But like you said, like I kept thinking, wow, that's Andy Samberg. And I'm like, why would they get Paul Rudd to do his best Andy Samberg impression?
Yeah, you're right. That's a good call. I remember seeing his name in the credits. I just forgot that, I was like, oh, him and Andy Samberg. It's so stupid that I just apparently blanked on that. But overall, yeah, I did like this movie. I thought I was going to love it based on how like over the moon a lot of critics were, but I still liked it a lot, and I think I absolutely would see a next one of these. What did you think for a score on this?
Oh, okay. If I had to score it, because I did have a good time, I think it lays a great foundation moving forward. If they were to get a second one greenlit, again, everything we echoed, I had a good time. There were some missteps in there, so I gave it a 3.5.
Yeah, I'm around the same. If I'm not cheating, it's probably a 3.5, but I think it's actually probably closer to like 3.25 if I was, because I'm like stuck where it's like a 3 feels more like, all right, this was a movie. It did something and it has a lot more room for improvement. I don't know. I just admired so much more of it that I want to give it a 3.5, but I feel also that feels kind of high. So if I'm going to do my cheating, which I constantly do, and it's our podcast, 3.25 sounds fine. We'll do that. But yeah, I'm all in on a next one. So please do more of those. I'm sure it will. It is off to a good start, but I wonder if they have to hit a certain number. I haven't heard production numbers of what they have to hit, but yeah, I know a lot of people loved it when we were in the theater. Lots of families. Hopefully it keeps going. And like I said, my whole, the Boys and Girls Club camp that my kids go to, they all went to it. So it's like, that's a big deal if you're going to continue the summertime and have other kids and families going to this all day long. I want to end on kind of see what else we were kind of checking in. I mentioned Hijack. I don't know if you have any other stuff that you wanted to put out there for the people, but I will say right now, I always love it when this happens, and I think we kind of had this happen a little bit on the movie side of something that comes out right after we do our mid-season top fives. Mm-hmm. And Hijack on Apple TV Plus is joining like where I was hesitant. I couldn't put The Bear because I didn't finish The Bear when we did the top fives, and this is like almost just as good. It's one of the most infectious, cliffhangery, addictive shows I've seen in a while, and it's got elements of like Idris Elba kind of doing his best like Denzel Samuel like negotiator stuff over the years, that kind of character, but with a way more even keel and suaveness and a mystery about him as well, because you don't know a ton about him and you kind of unfolds just enough over. It's only 7 episodes, everybody, and they're like 45-minute episodes, so it won't take you long to binge, but damn is it a awesome binge. And I kept messaging you like almost every couple episodes being like, this show is amazing, you have to watch it, because I knew you would watch like the first episode or something like that when we spoke last week. And man, everybody who told me to watch it is absolutely right. This is one of my favorite shows of the year. It's hard pressed for me to put it above something like The Bear, but man, is it right up there.
Yeah, I agree. I watched the first episode, like I said, and I just got caught up with other shows like we sometimes do. And then you're like, you like when you're messaging me, like, oh my God, this show's like awesome, it's perfect. Da-da-da. I watched 3 today, so I got 3 left. And you're right, like Idris Elba is one of my favorite actors. I think I've said that before. And you used the word suave, which I think is perfect description of him in this movie, because again, right now he's shrouded in a lot of mystery on his backstory, but he handles everything so smoothly. You know what I mean? Yeah. Doesn't get doesn't lose his cool at all during this show. No. This show ratchets it up, the tension. Like every episode, you're like, what the hell's going to happen? Who's going to like, what's going to, and you, again, every episode leaves you hanging to want to watch the follow-up episode. You're like, I just gotta watch this, So it is, the production value is great. The whole cast, and I don't even know most of the cast, but I'm enjoying this show. And I'm probably gonna watch 2 more episodes when we get off this podcast tonight. So I'll be up late.
Yeah, I'm so jealous that this show in many ways is so simple yet so polished and so well designed, because it, like I said, it reminds me of like Slow Horses in a lot of ways, because it's a well-crafted show that's British laden with a lot of British actors and this kind of mystery and trying to solve the problems of the crime going on and adding extra layers as it goes through with, government conversations and everything else. So it has some of that, but man, is this just more like you can't blink. Or you'll miss something because there's constant flow. It's funny that we led the show with the Meg, where it's like, the giant shark type feeling of this thing. The hijackers on a plane, because they can't go very far, they literally just circle like sharks around these people that they're holding hostage, and every layer that comes through, whether it's the puppet masters, the hijacker information, the pilot, the staff, all these like interpersonal relationships, and Alba himself. I mean, there's just so much to the show. For anybody who hasn't seen anything about this show, it's basically, as it's told, it's a plane from Dubai to London that is hijacked over a 7-hour flight while authorities on the ground scramble for answers. So you got the government layer stuff, you got police, counterterrorism. The actual airplane stuff is just unbelievable. Like you said, people I've never seen before in any other show just do such a good job. And God, I'm jealous of you that you have not gotten the episode 6 to 7 hangover, because much like The Bear, where it's not like how it ended exactly is like the best episode. There's some episodes before then that you're just like, holy shit, episode 6 broke me. This one, man, if you want to talk about the ultimate cliffhanger of cliffhangers, just wait. Because you're, how many? You're 5 in, you said?
I'm going to start the 5th one tonight.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's 6 into 7. Good luck going to sleep after 6 ends, is all I'm going to say. So that's the one that you're going to be like, son of a bitch. I'm waiting for the message from you in the middle of the night to be like, you son of a bitch. Now I'm up till 3 a.m. But this is a high recommend from me. And I think a lot of people should check it out if they have Apple TV Plus, or, I don't know if you're able to, if you don't have Apple TV Plus, to either rent it or do anything. I don't know if they do that with their stuff. I don't think so, but definitely worth whatever. I would pay the $6 or $7 it is for a month to just watch Hijack and then, scramble around the rest of the program just to check this out, because it is that good. And it almost makes me sad that I think it's very good as 7 episodes, but man, this would be an amazing movie.
Right.
It just feels like something that would have been a movie 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's great.
Echo everything you said. Denzel.
Yeah.
Or, as an American, just happened to be doing a business deal in Dubai and coming back. It would have been totally something like that. Because I can't imagine what the equivalent to Idris Elba would be that long ago. Because Idris Elba, I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe he's trying to do the gunslinger character stuff. Is that about right? So maybe they still pick him if this is casted.
I doubt 10 years ago. No, because I think that's when he did The Losers, which was an ensemble movie.
Right.
And he kind of started making a name for himself kind of during that period. So he wasn't. Yeah. Maybe Wesley Snipes 10 years ago. No, kidding.
No, he's too bankrupt at that point. They'd love it.
Kidding.
They'd love it, but it would be a very different movie. But yeah, no, he's just perfect for this. Like he's the suaveness. I love this guy. This might be the best thing he's ever done.
Whoa. Okay. I have to go through his filmography to
because I like
fight
him.
You on that.
I love him. But this one, I love the crap out of it. It's the most engrossing character and situation I've ever seen with him. It may help that he has such a large ensemble to prop him up, but this is damn good. This is so good. And Apple TV Plus, man. Every so often we just come up and just like, damn, man, do you see that thing on Apple TV Plus? They have a lot of good shows. It was so good that I was like, maybe I should check out Silo while I'm here.
I thought Silo's on my list. It is.
Yeah.
So I actually might check that out after
that. And what is it? The Foundation or Foundation?
I tried watching it and
no
it
bueno.
Didn't do anything. No bueno.
Okay.
It's actually one of the books I actually read. I actually read that book 2 years ago.
Ooh, look at you.
Yeah.
And
it took me like 3 months to get through that freaking book. So I was like, let me watch it. No good. No bueno.
Wow. That's a tough beat if you went through the whole process of reading everything and just not into it. That sucks.
Yeah.
Anything else you've dove into that you're up on?
Yeah, real quick, and I won't make a big thing out of this, but it's still ongoing. They drop weekly on Hulu. It's an FX show. Please watch Justified: City of Primeval.
I hear nothing but great things. Yeah,
it's fantastic. If you're a fan of Justified, and if you've never seen the Justified series, you don't need to see it to watch this one because this one takes place 15 years after the events of Justified.
Right.
And you got all new set of characters. They're in Detroit. The villain is our boy Boyd Holbrook.
I know.
He eats up the screen. It is fantastic. So that's my recommendation. I think they're only on like episode 3 or 4, actually 4 right now.
Ooh, and might be a good time to catch up.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Raylan Givens and that Justified vibe, go check that on Hulu right now.
I'm going to be very honest. I've not seen one episode of Justified, which is crazy. I know a lot of people who really like that show. I should go back. Maybe that's, it's like a good, like, I'm homesick, so I'm just going to, like, watch a few episodes or whatever and just kind of get in. But because it's overwhelming, right? When you just, like, missed a whole show, and then you're like, I have to watch all these things to kind of catch up. But I didn't even know up until recently that was based on Elmore Leonard's stuff. So, like, to me, I was like, oh, shit. All right, I should get in on this. So that's maybe an assignment for me, a bigger, larger thing. We have so much content. And in fact, Only Murders in the Building is back tomorrow. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, man, now I'm going to have another thing to watch weekly, which is good. I need more weekly stuff. I think they're dropping maybe the first two. That first day, so that'll be good, especially because those are half-hour episodes, so that'll be awesome. Anything else on the brain there for you, Shane?
That's it, man. Like you said, been watching a lot of stuff, and that's all I got.
Yeah, and we'll be getting back on our horror kick. We should be seeing The Last Voyage of the Demeter. I laugh because I still, even from last week when I was like doing the Kim Basinger thing, I still didn't even look it up like an idiot. It's like the first words they say in the trailer too, and I still this pea brain just at the end of every episode. I'm like, yeah, now's the time. Just take the risk, you idiot. Don't look it up first or anything. But hopefully, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about a little bit more horror. Maybe I'll spend this weekend maybe trying to check out some more other horror movies. I've been saying that for weeks, so maybe I'll actually pay it off in some respects and check those out. But good on you, man. Great episode. Hope everybody comes back next week for our horror thoughts. Of course, check us out on Twitter and Instagram at RecentActPod. Give us the old 5-star review and subscribe to us wherever you get podcasts. And we'll hope to see you next week for more Recent Activity.